renegades of Long Beach roller derby, and you're watching MoonKILL Radio. Woo!
All right, welcome back to the lab. What is on the slab at MoonKILL Radio? Welcome to this edition. Check us out again. Before we get into it, subscribe, leave your comments. Check out our medias. Check out our Patreon page, and you can contribute. Be a member, whatever you want to call it. Be a patron, right? Be a patriot. Was it patriot? Yeah. Be a patron. Yeah, if you like what we're doing, again, leave comments if you like what we're doing, or if you don't like what we're doing, or have suggestions for us. Just leave any kind of comments, man. We'll bring it on. We'll love it. We'll love it either way. We're gonna. This is a suggested one by Chiquita Banana. Right, shout out to Chiquita Banana from Portland, Oregon, from the PDX. So the PDX folks, this is a special one that, yes, is dear to our heart. Even though this is not a big record with the punk community, if you're, the hardcore punks, even back then. But you can't deny that the punk involvement of this, of even back then, the involvement of these kind of bands, especially back then. Again, the community wasn't big, man. So I knew punks that were hardcore into this band, yet they were hardcore into the Minor Threats and the Bad Brains, and maybe not so much like all the Agnostic Fronts and Cro-Mags type of dudes. Maybe those kind of dudes didn't dig on these bands, but yeah, a lot of punks did, and it just was part of the music that was out at the time. Again, I'm talking about the one and the only, the first full length, the first album by Soft Cell. Yes, synth only. All right, there's no drums, there's no nothing, right? Non-stop Erotic Cabaret. Man, what a record this is. This got played in my house. I don't know. Honestly, I have 4 copies of it, and they're all old. And so that's how much we went through this album. I bought it on CD twice because I played the crap out of the first one and played it to shit, and it's all got all scratched. So I bought me another one. Now I have it, the last one, and 4 copies of the actual album, and they have singles out. They have another, I guess, full length out. And again, no diss to anything they did after the Non-Stop Ecstatic Dancing record, which was kind of like a part 2 of this, or a B-side of this kind of thing. There was The Art of Falling Apart, which was cool, but it didn't live up to me. It didn't live up to this. Nothing. This was just a one only. Like, they could have just did this album, put it out, the next one, and all the singles, and did the same exact thing, but call it a different name, and it would have been successful. And as successful as they are, but dude, you will not get past this record. This is 1981 from the Some Bizarre label, and it was distributed by Sire Records. There's the back right there. It's just like punk synth, erotic, burlesque, just fucking horny music. Oh, it's so good. It was so good. Being a kid hearing it was just like, wow, this is fucking weird, but it was great. So here you got the The B-side, yeah, the B-side track list or the track list with the lyric sheet. Both sides, right? The first copies, this is a sire version. I believe when they got a little bigger, when the album started selling, because there is a blue label that says Some Bizarre there. But this is I have two of each, put it that way. But the yellow one, and again, this is another album. You put it on here, you put it on there as a kid, and you watch that blue thing go around and around and around and around. Okay. Soft Cell. Let's get to the track list because there is nothing like it. And again, this was an album to me that, and still to this day, there was other synth bands out there. There was your Devos. There was your New Orders. There was your Depeche Modes. And Depeche Mode to me was probably the closest thing that came to this album. But the first Depeche Mode had some very good songs on it. But this was like the best mix of any synth, punk, goth, pop. Everything was just melted in this record. And this was like a good early techno club record, out of the disco era. Now we're getting into synths and heavy electronic music, and yes, there was Kraftwerk and other stuff, and and people that messed with the synths. But again, it's two guys. That's it. Mark Allman and David Ball. That was it. That's all you had. Mark Allman, his great singing, storytelling, singing, and kind of thematic, theatric singing, just was perfect for this kind of music and what they did to me personally. And then not having any, which I am a huge acoustic instrumentation person, but this record is just perfect. It's just perfection. This is the way it was supposed. You just don't get better than this, man. Straight up. I mean, seriously. And anyone, especially people that grew up on this record, tell you the same thing. This is just a perfection of an album, start to finish. And it was one of those, even the songs you don't like or you don't really care for, you love them. And you'll play the whole album. Again, this was back when it was album play and it wasn't about singles and this and that, or like today's world and everything has to be boom, 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 boom. No, you put it on, you let it play, you clean the house, before the mom and dad got home type stuff, and shit like that, But you start off with Frustration, just full on, Mark Allman screaming and whatever, and just that 808, you hear that electronic, dun, 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 good dance tune. Then your Tainted Love, which is again another cover song. So they're not a band. Well, they're an electronic band, but they're still doing a cover song. Tainted Love is a cover song. CD Films. Yeah, this is where music gets burlesque and sexy and erotic. And even that was like, wow, this is, it's a sin. It was great. You loved it. Youth, and then you end it with Sex Dwarf. And, of course, being a kid in that time, it was like Sex Dwarf. Anything that had sex in it was like, wow, I'm not supposed to say that, But you want to say Sex Dwarf over and over again just because it had sex in it, It's, yeah, it was just stupid, right? But then you start off the second side, which is my personal favorite. 2 tracks that go together, cannot be separated, right? Entertain Me and Chips on My Shoulder. One of the best dance tunes ever made in the 80s. 70s, 80s, I don't give a shit. One of the best dance tunes ever made, right there. Entertain Me and Chips on My Shoulder. To me, it's like one song, but one of the best dance tracks ever. And well, I'll get to that at the end. I'll do a little rant for you. Bed Sitter, Secret Life, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye. That ends the album. And there's I don't know what else you have to say about it. Dude, this again, I want to know some of your comments, especially those that didn't grow up on this record. You know, even if you watch this, play it. Go home or find it, play it. If you're if you're into synthesizer music or not, if you're into electronic music or not. You know, yes, some of you might say it's dated, and yeah, it's almost 40 damn years old. You know, but this is a perfection of a record. You take what they did, what they were doing, and Mark Almond's voice was great. It's, you know, it's awesome, and it's the way he sings, the style of singing he uses, different styles. Very emotional singer. He's so good. It is ridiculous. It's like, off the top of my head, I can't remember the singer for Depeche Mode. Those two guys are awesome singers, great frontmen, so good. They sound so fucking good. But this one, again, a classic in our eyes. Maybe you're too punk to hear it. I don't know. If you are, cool. I'm not punk enough for you. That's awesome. You know, but I know a lot of punks didn't dig this record. Even later on, some punks didn't dig this record, and yeah, it was new wave music, electronic music. You know, okay, cool. It's a preference, man. But there was a lot of old punks that did dig this record, you know, and it was just good music, period. But it is what it is. And another, I guess my one rant real quick would be to you 80s DJs out there at some of these clubs, especially out here, and the ones I've been to, that, you know, especially if you're 80s and you say you play new wave music and just a DJ, period, you know, you could play these songs, most of these songs on this album, and they're danceable, just because they don't have the same BPM as and this is a LA thing. I think a lot of LA thing. A lot of this is strictly a lot of LA heads, just because it doesn't have, you know, the BPMs of Lookout Weekend and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that they can't dance to it. You know, and this was the thing is I remember asking a DJ to play Magnificent Seven by The Clash, which I grew up dancing to. That's a dance track. It's a good dance track, and he looked at me like I, you know, like I was talking a different language. You know, he didn't get it. And he flat out said, "You could dance to that," and I was like, I was looking at him like he was looking at me. You know, and it's like everything the guy played after that was strictly on the BPMs of like Lookout Weekend, and it's like, dude, you don't have to stay. If you're gonna be playing 80s music, that's like playing rock music. You know, at an 80s bar that plays everything. You know, you don't have to stick to one BPM, dude. You know, you gotta play some songs that, you know, go off. You know, the Go-Go's didn't have tracks that were like that. You know, B-52s didn't have tracks like that. Play that shit, dude. You know what I mean? Come on. What the fuck? But again, Soft Cell. If you've never heard it, check it out. Perfection of a record, synth music, blah blah blah. You know, forget all the rant stuff. Yeah. Again, this is just a great record. So thanks, Chiquita Banana, for that one from PDX. And we'll be back with another What's on the Slab. All right. Check us out, MoonKILL Radio, all in the description. All right, next one.